Hey folks, so welcome to New Tactical Tuesday. It's the Captain here again, and this week it's going to be on Baldur's Gate. Yeah, this is probably one of my favourite games of all time. So we'll talk about it as we go through it though, so let's get started, shall we?
No, you can't.
I will be the last, and you will go first.
Should please.
Well, that boy's fucked up. So, the game had a co-op feature even. Originally it was from I think the late 90s this game was released. Yeah, I mean the plot line, at the time the lighting effects, some of the cinematics, the spell effects, like honestly watching some of the spells fire off, like when you've got multiple spellcasters going and you see multiple spells going at the same time, this game was so pretty at the time. There's a lot you can do. I mean, it's based in a D&D world. I think it was. I think this might have been. Is this D&D? Or is this AD&D? I'm pretty sure Baldur's Gate 2 was the AD&D rules, if you know what that is. I'm sure some of these are. So obviously you can make male or female. Male guy. Pick your portrait. There's always like a whole bunch of random ones. I think you could even put in like custom pictures and stuff like that. You know? Obviously the portrait is just purely aesthetic. It doesn't actually affect what you're doing, if you know what I mean. Go with the dwarf. Obviously, you know, you've got like humans, elves, half-elves, gnomes, halflings, dwarves, and half-orcs. Now, they all give you different stats and things like that. You know, they have different bonuses, like the dwarves can see in the dark. Not in colour, mind, but they can't see, like, too well, but they can see in the dark. But, you know, they're less agile and not very charismatic compared to some races, but they're tougher. They can also like detect hidden walls and stuff, I think, if I remember right. You know, you've got like the halflings, they find it a bit easier to hit with sort of like the sling. They've got a better dex because obviously, you know, they're smaller, so more nimble kind of thing, you know. You've got gnomes, which I think get bonuses from magic. And and stealth related stuff. The half-elves are quite similar to humans, but with slight variants. You know, and obviously the elves are like good. You know, the humans are kind of like your balanced race and stuff like that. The dwarves are like meant to be tough. The elves are meant to be agile. You know, yada yada yada. I'm sure there's a few you played plenty of stuff like this. You know. Now, depending on what race you pick, you know, affects drastically like what characters you can pick. So I think we'll go for the classic fighter. Now you've then got subclasses as well, which was kind of cool. You know, so you can play the basic fighter, who has like, you know, you can wear all the armor types and can carry heaps of like different weapon training and things like that. It gets D10, means, you know, like I presume you all know like D10's like meant to be a 10-sided dice, because everything in this is based on dice rolls, but obviously you don't actually roll a dice. You can set it up so you can see, like there's a nice little option where you can set up in the options to actually see the dice rolling. You know, so like say your guy tries to hit like an enemy, basically you can set it up so you can actually see the whole, like, you know, they rolled this to get this much against this much armor, and, you know, or you can just play the game without worrying about that. It depends on what level of immersion you want and how much like an actual tabletop RPG compared to a computer game you want, you know. You get different bonuses, you know, you get things like wizard slayers. They can't use magic items apart from weapons and armor, because you get like rings and necklaces and trinkets and stuff like that, you know. But the wizard slayer can't use. You can use magic weapons, magic armor. That's it. But he gets like magic resistance and things like that, you know. I think if I remember right, the Kenzai is pretty cool. He's meant to be like a samurai type. Oh yeah, but he can't wear gauntlets, bracers, can't use missile weapons, and can't wear any armor. And you get like the dwarven defender. Like obviously, you would have to be a dwarf for this one as well, you know. So there's class specific, there's race specific, and all this kind of stuff, you know. So they get like a defensive stance, which gives them like bonus armor and stuff like that. But they move slower when they're doing it. Every 5 levels, that, you know. So you get the idea. There's quite a few cool classes. Oh, it might even. Yeah, obviously, you know, you've got sorcerers and you've got mages in this, as well as druids, bards, paladins, rangers, clerics. They all have like magical abilities, but things like the clerics and the paladins, they use, and like rangers and that, and druids actually, they use like clerical magic, like, you know, it's meant to be religious or nature magic. You know, you're powered by the gods kind of thing, effectively. Whereas like mages, bards, and sorcerers use arcane. You know, sorcerers are much more, they're born with the gift of magic. Mages spend years learning it, kind of thing, and the bards sort of, they're like a bit pants. they play instruments to inspire people, but they've, you know, they're somewhere between a sort of a thief and a mage, effectively. Anyway, we'll go with this, and we'll just pick the dwarven defender for the hell of it, just because it's cool. You can also choose your alignment. You know, you can straight up be evil, good, neutral. Then you've also, like, basically you've got 3 good, 3 neutrals, 3 evils. You've got lawful, neutral, and chaotic. Obviously good, neutral, and evil, you know what that is. Lawful is meant to be like law-abiding citizen. Neutral's kind of a bit more, like, lawful is kind of like your overzealous type. You know, they might be like actual like law officials and things like that, you know. Neutral's kind of more your sort of average person, and chaotic doesn't mean bad, it just means you're more likely to bend the rules, not follow the typical way of society and stuff like that, you know. I'm quite a fan of the chaotic good, although sometimes I do like to go with the evil characters, but all depends, you know. Now, as you go through this, you can see how much points you get. Now, obviously, the stats with the higher minimum are more important. You know, Constitution, you get a bonus because you're a dwarf and stuff like that. Now, you can sort of do stuff like this. You know, I wouldn't really recommend it for proper RP terms. You know, but it's a fun little, there's a little workarounds, you know what I mean? But we'll go with these stats, just because. Now, the thing is, well, when you're wearing heavier armor, you can't as high a dex, but dex gives you bonus to your survivability, basically. Some decent stats, actually. I like that. If your character's got an intelligence score of 8 or less, you're illiterate and can't use scrolls. I quite like those stats, I think. So, you know, you go through it, like I said, you know, there's a lot you can do. Now, as this character, I get 4 proficiency slots. Now, the way these work is, the more points you put into it, the better you get it, kind of thing. So, he's a Dorn defender, so we're probably going to go with a sword and shield style, so. You know, so like things like the sword and shield, you get better. Now, it says -4, that's a good thing. You want your AC to be lower in this. What should we go for? Let's go for something fun. Dorn defenders, I think Warhammers could be good. You know what, should we just make him a master of Warhammer? Oh, okay, so we can only go up to 2 with that. But that gives you, like, bonuses to hit and things like that. I suppose we could maybe... What else could we go with? Crossbow? Take a point in crossbow. Then you get, you know, obviously there's funky little things you can do, you know. Doesn't make a huge difference to how things look, but, you know, it's nice having these touches in a game, you know. Or I feel it is anyway. You can even, for RP purposes, give your character a bio and stuff like that.
Death to you all! Your life ends here.
Time for a bit of the rough and tumble.
Time for a bit of a rough and tumble.
You got this coming!
Some of these voices.
Let's give them a right thrashing.
Get over here!
You got this coming!
Some of the voices you got in this were just brilliant, you know. There's a restart button, obviously, I'm not going to click that. You can write a bio and stuff like that, or, oh, it's actually got like a default one.
Today, Gorion has appeared more agitated than ever, and now he has uncharacteristically interrupted your chores in the middle of the day, imparting hurried instructions for you to equip yourself for travel. He has handed you what gold he can spare, but given no clue as to why. Nevertheless, you now stand before the Candlekeep Inn, ready to purchase what you need for an unplanned and unexpected journey.
So as you can see, you know, it's got a lot of reading and stuff in it, this. It's got a lot of narration and stuff, but it's meant to be effectively, you know, like, you're playing like an interactive, like, the storyline is amazing, you know, you're playing a story, you know, and,
Way ahead of you,
you know, I'm one of these people, like, basically, the original folk that made Baldur's Gate have just made the Pillars of Eternity, which I'm hopefully going to have very soon, because I'm a big fan of them as devs, you know. I think they originally started out as Black Isle. They're now called Obsidian, but I don't know if they were... I can't remember if they were the ones specifically behind the Remastered. But anyway, you know, it's like, you've got your dude, you can select multiple you can end up getting multiple characters. This game, by the way, was a prelude to things like Knights of the Old Republic, Mass Effect and everything. Dragon Age. You know, it's one of the earlier games that have, you know, the multi-party system, and it's sort of, but this one's kind of like more like your turn-based combat, like Dragon Age type thing. You know, you can bring up your map, you can see the different locations to this place, and then you've got like the world map. Now, this game has a lot in it for the timeline it came out at, you know. There's like hidden secret little items in it. There's so much stuff, you know. It's an excellent game. Sorry, like I said, I grew up on this kind of game, kind of thing, and yeah, it was just epic. Absolutely loved it. Was totally addicted. And the only thing that I found I was more addicted was when the second one came out. It's a point and click thing, though.
Hard to find decent folk nowadays.
You know, so you get like random people to like gibber to you. You get quest lines.
My hotel's as clean as an elven arse.
There's little jokes and stuff in the game as well, you know? So we'll go with that one. Just having a bit of fun, blah 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 blah. You know, he's like, is there anything I can do for you? No thanks. Or, yep. Yes please. No, I don't want to sleep. I want... Yeah. Another thing, sorry I'm trying to go through it bit by bit. Another thing, you know, you can choose to rest up in certain places and let you heal up and restore your spells, because you've only got a limited number of use of your spells per day. And obviously that's not a big deal to my fighter, but you generally, you want to have like a healer type character. You definitely want to have a spellcaster, because some of the spells you get later on are just insanely powerful. So, hammer specialist will buy a warhammer. Sort of crossbow. They're expensive, but the hell, buy a crossbow. So shields. We'll get a fancy shield. Obviously, you get different types of shields and stuff like that as well, you know. Buy a helmet. What's the thickest? Is leather the best armor they've got? Must be. And I suppose we should get some ammo for the crossbow as well, eh? Ah, there we go. You can do things like, you know, you can have a drink and let's have some meat, shall we? Then you get like random little bits of info and things like that. You know, obviously it's meant to represent you're sitting at the bar speaking to you. So many nice little touches, like I said. Oh, and you can also thieve stuff. Now, obviously it wouldn't be a good idea of the character I'm playing, but you can actually steal from a shop's inventory. So, why don't we equip our shiny new stuff? That stupid thing. Where is it? Ah, there it is. The other thing as well, it won't let you equip your crossbow when you have things like, you know, you have to physically unequip your shield and then equip your crossbow kind of thing. But you can, it pauses the combat and stuff while you're doing this. We'll go for a quick wander around, will we? See if we can find a fight. I mean, you might not think the game looks that detailed and stuff like that, but see, once you get into the storyline, this, you know, my god, is that addictive? Who's this dude?
I can take Drizzt with both my arms tied behind my back.
Hello?
Top of my to-do list.
There we go. Oh goody goody, I've gone and found you first. You're the ward of Goria, no doubt. I am. What can I do for you? Oh, your encounter shall be quite simple for you. Plainly put, I've made it my mission to end your life. Success will mean a little respect among my peers. So you see, you can do very little except die. You can rig it up so, like, see how it's auto-paused it, because enemy side and stuff like that. It all depends on, like, do you want it to feel like a fluid game, you know, like Mass Effect type, or do you want it to feel more like an actual, like, pen and paper RPG? You know, it's all depends on personal things, you know. Your main character also ends up picking up special abilities, and you can actually continue your characters through to the next game and stuff. There you go. See, now I've got it rigged up like I was saying. You've got this little chat window. You can shrink it down, make it bigger or whatever. So it'll tell you like when you paused in, like what abilities you're doing and whether people shout random stuff, you know. So as you can see, he rolled a 9, had a -4, got 5, so he missed. You know, and it's all based on like what kind of armor and stuff like that you've got. I had a 12 with a +3, so I got a 15, which beat his armor. And then seemingly one hit him, just smashed him in the face.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Of course, you can do the whole loot the bodies. Always got to loot the bodies. Might only be a puny knife he's got, but I can sell that. There is traps and things in the game, but which only like rogues and well, thieves and stuff can detect. Mages can. Here you go. Successfully forced open the lock by smashing it with my hammer. Sometimes that can break the items that are inside it, though. Also, if you're caught stealing, you can get in a fair bit of trouble. Now, as you can see, you know, like if I'd went about a bit, I could have probably picked up some gear for free. You know, but certain actions have consequences in this game as well. So, you know, you cut yourself above the brow there. What is wrong, child? Something in your eyes tells me that something is very wrong indeed. Oh! You know, you've kind of got the whole whingy kind of responses. You've got the meh, whatever. Obviously, you'll encounter a few things go a bit tits up in this. You know, there is some generic characters like, you know, your city watch and stuff like that.
These walls contain the
you can go up to
world's
priests and
knowledge.
you can donate money to them, but you can also, like, they also sell things like they sell things like certain potions and scrolls and stuff. You can also have a character, if one of your party is dead. Now, what happens is if you die, you're dead. If you get critted as you die, you're kind of exploding a little bits and as you're gone. But if you're dead, your character's grey and basically your party carries them around with them. And you can go see a healer, and then they've got like things like raise dead and stuff like that they can do. Now remember, it's not like, you know, you don't just heal by wandering around either. You have to either use magic or try and like rest up and stuff like that, you know?
Hey,
Then, you know, here you go, like, it gives you little tutorial pointers and stuff.
hey,
There you go, like a dude, you know, there's plenty of tutorials and stuff like that in the game as well, you know?
By Moradin's
If you
hammer.
spend time wandering around, you know, if you spend a bit of time wandering around and stuff, there's plenty of quests to pick up. It's fun leveling, it's fun exploring. There's, you know, there's certain areas that like a couple of pixels big, there's like an item you could pick up that's like quite a fancy ring and stuff like that, you know. I used to know quite a few secrets like that, but I
got this coming!
Anyway, folks, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend folk having a look into getting this, especially
I'll
if
get
you've
right
never
on that.
played it before, you know. It's on Steam, it's not too expensive. I'm gonna try to like wander around with a cat. You know, it's a fun little game and stuff. It'll even, you can, you know, also, if anyone's curious, please let me know if you'd like to see Let's Plays on more stuff like this. I've got a few series
Yeah, I'll get
running,
right on
like, I'm going to have to drop Salt to doing only one episode a week, and I think I'm going to start releasing that on Wednesdays. That way I might have time for a day off, potentially. Also, myself and Dusty Monkey, he's a YouTuber we do a lot of work with, are both planning on starting a series on the new Reign of Kings. Oh god, it's Imoen. She's a bit of an emo. But yeah, we're planning on getting a game going with Reign of Kings, and we're actually going to be doing an actual proper RP series. We've got a group of friends joined us in the game, and we've actually got folk from the server interested in participating, so it's going to be myself and Dusty's first attempt at properly trying to do like a scripted series kind of, well, I say scripted, partially scripted. We want to have some ad-libbing on the go, you know, so we get some good banter and things, but The idea is we're working on a storyline and something to entertain everyone. So, I will leave it there, and I will shut up finally. So, thanks for watching, and catch you later.